Welcome, everybody, to Pepper Forward. My name is Brian Huff, and today is our next guest on Meet Your Maker. And excited today to bring you Kevin Stuermer, all the way from Canada. He's our first international guest. And Kevin, how are you doing today?
Good, Brian. Good, Brian. Happy to be here.
I am so excited that you're here today. Of course, the sauce that I tried of yours was the J Jaguar, and I noticed online. I think correct me if I'm wrong. It's still currently sold out.
It should be available on heatness.com. On my website, I'm not allowed to sell it directly. It's part of the contract I signed being part of Hot Ones.
Okay, yeah,
So, yeah.
that's really cool. I love that show. That show actually, for me, was a big inspiration into hot sauce and everything. Personally, what started your journey into hot sauce?
About 2016. Well, I'd say it's been a longer story, but in 2016, I started making hot sauces as a hobby. I was making them for wedding favors and just for my own consumption. And, with the people, like friends of mine and family members who had tasted it, it really motivated me to take it to the next level. So we incorporated our company in 2017. And from there, we've come up with 6 different flavors of hot sauce. And we also make spice blends as well. And as a chef by trade, it's been a natural evolution outside of the restaurants and hotels that I've worked in.
Okay. And mentioning restaurants, I was thinking of this today. Do you think that as bad as COVID-19 has been, that maybe it's had a slightly positive effect on the sauce industry as more people find themselves cooking at home versus being able to go to their favorite restaurants?
I've noticed a trend with our retailers ordering sooner than normal. So the grocery stores are a bit busier. People are eating at home more often. And hot sauces and chilies are trending at the moment as well. So there's that influence as well that, people want to eat more spicy food.
And going back to restaurants again, I noticed that you were executive chef at the Mad Mexican and then chef at Koi Restaurant there
Yeah,
in Canada. So
yeah.
have you always had a passion for food?
Yeah, I think it stemmed from my mother serving me mashed potatoes and Kraft dinner, nothing really special. So it was up to me to learn how to cook, and working in restaurants as a teenager, and then graduating high school, I went to culinary school. From there, I moved to Europe, worked in some fancy hotels and restaurants, and really developed my skill set and hardlined my passion towards a lot of different cuisines, Mexican being one of them. That's where generally the story began for me with the hot sauces as well. As Mad Mexican is not just a restaurant chain. I had opened 2 of their restaurants. I think they have 3 now. And they also are a food manufacturing company. So they make a whole line of salsas and tortilla chips. And it really showed me food manufacturing firsthand and assembly line style of producing foods. We made some hot sauces for the restaurants, but it was never commercially sold. So my first batches of sauce were actually made for those restaurants. And yeah, it was a great experience. And before that, I worked in every single position in a restaurant. I've been chef de partie of hotels. So it was a natural evolution. Is something when you're passionate, you want to kind of touch every base. And food manufacturing was our last base, our last home run, and that's where we are now.
That's awesome. So living in places like Amsterdam, say, I mean, has obviously played a factor in all the flavors I imagine that you bring into the sauces. But what was sort of the inspiration between? I'm going to talk about J Jaguar for a moment. Is this one I've personally gotten to try? What was sort of the inspiration behind the flavor profile of J Jaguar?
It is solely for the carnitas taco. Carnitas is a braised pork taco garnished with onion, cilantro, and if you like it spicy, some jalapenos. So I wanted a sauce, which the carnitas is my favorite taco. I wanted something to kind of homage that and it's a very classical Mexican taco. The That's the beginning of the Jade Jaguar for me, was trying to put my love of that taco into a bottle, and it's got every base ingredient needed for the garnish for that taco in it.
Now, actually hearing you talk about that, and I actually, while you were speaking, tried it again, and it makes perfect sense. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really
I'm
my homage to the Mexican kitchen, the Jade Jaguar. It's a collection of my experiences learning about Mexican cuisine all in one bottle.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to trying more of you guys' lineup. Um, how exciting was it to be? I mean, I imagine it would have been just amazing to get that call to say, "Hey, we want to feature this sauce on Hot Ones."
Yeah, it was like I had no idea the conversation was about hot ones when it started. It was in like October of 2019. Heatonist had asked me to send them some samples, and I was familiar with that company. I didn't know they were affiliated with Hot Ones at all. So I had sent them samples in the hopes that I'd be able to stock their store. I mean, it's a World Series store, a purveyor of fine sauces, and it'd be a dream alone just to be in their store. So I sent them samples. A gentleman who works there contacted me, letting me know that the samples have arrived, but be patient. We have hundreds of samples to go through. We should get back to you by Christmas. So I continued on, and Koi, by the way, I forgot to mention, was like a sole proprietorship for me, and it was a business that I really cared about. So I put a lot of attention into that as well. Kind of moved on, forgot about Heatonist, and mid January they contacted me again, and Christmas came and went, and I kind of thought that, you know, I guess it was a lost cause. Nothing's really going to happen. Move on, stay focused. They contacted
Okay.
me mid January, um, told me how much they loved all the sauces I'd sent them. They especially liked the Jade Jaguar, and came with like about 10 to 12 questions about the history of my company, the inspiration for each of the flavors. I ended up writing around a 3,000 word essay answering all their questions. And I probably did it in 2 days that I'd gotten the email. Still at this point, I had no idea it was about hot ones at all. A couple days later, they responded saying that thank you for answering all those questions. We love the answers. We would like to put you on a call with another gentleman that works at Hedonist. So I had taken the call. And that day I was actually under the weather. And this is about January 20th, so don't think pandemic. Um, he had called and said, "Hey, we're wondering, can you ramp up production? We're really looking to get tens of thousands of your bottles. Is that possible?" I'm like, "Well, not in my kitchen. I don't have, like, my maximum capacity is around 600 bottles per batch. I'd have to outsource this to make your requirement." And he's like, "Well, we would like you to do that, but don't tell anybody. We're really looking to have you on season 12 of Hot Ones." And because I was sick, I didn't drop the phone. I didn't scream in excitement. I was just so tired and under the weather that I really held my cool. And I'm thankful for that now. Kept me a little bit more professional. And I accepted their offer. I told them, you know, I'll get all these things done. And it's a really difficult challenge being from a different country than the United States and importing a food product into the United States. There's a lot of paperwork involved, customs and FDA paperwork. So I had to
Right.
like jump through a lot of loops to make it happen. And, you know, one checklist after another, I had completed all the requirements and started manufacturing. And coming closer to the pandemic, I was really concerned. Like, our government and your government was saying, we're closing down the borders, everything, you know, nothing's passing. And I'm getting concerned because I've invested my life savings into this by now, right?
Right.
They, as far as commercial goods, it was okay. And I talked to Heatonist about it. I'm like, look, you know, the things that are going on now, I hope you understand, because I had a deadline. There's just a bunch of stipulations. If I were late, there'd be penalties involved. they were really kind and accommodating to the fact that, you know, the situation we're in, things may happen. I ended up making the deliveries on time. As far as commercial goods crossing the border, it wasn't an issue. So it really worked out. It was a huge learning curve and a lot of fear involved, especially in the world we live in, but we made it happen. Yeah.
That's awesome. So maybe season 13, maybe they'll be looking for something once again. Who knows? I'm a huge fan of that show. I follow it pretty religiously. I love the Paul Rudd episode. The memes that came from that one were fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to some people at Heatonist as well, and like you said, they're really super nice people.
Yeah.
But I can imagine um, I guess it was a good thing you were a little under the weather, like you said. It kept you cool and calm and collected.
Right, yeah.
Oh, this has been fantastic. I really am impressed with this sauce, and I'm super impressed with just the whole spectrum of your knowledge of food and everything, and it really shines through, especially getting to have you explain the background and everything. And then when I just tried it again, it all just made so much sense. And to me, getting to that story behind the sauce is so, it's just so fun, and I love it so much. And I really appreciate you coming out and sharing it with us here today. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's around the corner for Steel City Sauce Company. Anything in the future you might have going on?
I'm working with some distribution channels. I should expect some American distribution in the near future, hopefully in Tennessee, where you guys are. I do know the Midwest is going to be picking up our products. We do have a West Coast Canada distributor joining us. We've got an Australian distributor showing some extreme interest, and even some European distribution channels. I do have family in Europe. It would be fantastic to see, distant relatives able to see our products on their local shelves. We do have, it takes us about a year for each sauce that we develop. We do a lot of research and development, a bit of tweaking here and there off of each batch until we get it to where we like it. We do have a few sauces that we're playing with right now. We were working on a fruit-based hot sauce, which is not really what we've been doing lately. So we're going to see how that comes to play. And we're working with a unique, specially grown pepper for us as well. So we're going to have some exciting new products coming out shortly.
Okay, that's exciting. So a specialty grown pepper for you guys. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's not common. It's grown around, but here in Canada we have a short growth season, and right now is the prime time. We have peppers ripening up now. Some of our harder crops, like the Reaper pepper, is a late August harvest. So we're gonna get some peppers here soon.
I just literally picked 2 Reapers from my first garden I've ever planted this morning, and they are very finicky.
They are, especially juveniles. You got to have them for a couple years before they really have good fruiting bodies.
Yeah, I bought these from just a local Home Depot store, or Lowe's store actually, and they were about 6 inches tall. Now they're about 3.5 feet tall, and they've got about 6 or 8 peppers per plant. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with them, because I've got them in 5-gallon buckets. I'm hoping I can move them indoors and keep them for
Yeah,
a while,
yeah.
if that's possible. I'm new to all this stuff and really excited about it. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I really appreciate it, and just really am looking forward to see what else comes out from Steel City. And good luck for the future. I'm just really, really excited for you. And anything in closing? I mean, that's pretty big. I mean, I can't. That's really cool that you've got something coming out with a very limited pepper and all that stuff. I'm really excited for that.
Well, I'll be sure to send a bottle your way when it's ready.
Oh, we will. I will be anxiously awaiting it, and love from my family to your family. I hope you guys stay safe and all this stuff. And just thank you so much for joining us here today on Meet Your Maker.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.